One of these giants can store clean electricity for hours or days without burning a single extra gram of gas or coal. On the left, Europe's classic mountain reservoir dam. On the right, China's 148-meter gravity battery tower in Rudong.
So, same job, totally different physics. Which one actually keeps the lights on when the wind dies for a week?
In the next minutes, we'll pit three storage heavyweights against each other. China's Rudong gravity battery tower, Europe's pumped hydro dams, and a new hybrid mineshaft project in Italy called Miniera d'Energia. By the end, you'll know which tech is most likely to back up the clean grid where you live, and why the answer is not just build more lithium batteries.
Before we dive in, like this video and subscribe to our channel. This helps us make more of these videos. Let's start with the weird one. What exactly is a gravity battery tower, and how did China turn it from a sketch into a 40-story machine?
Outside Shanghai in Rudong County, engineers built a concrete tower roughly 148 meters tall and about 120 by 110 meters across. Think of a high-rise that's secretly a robot. Inside, cranes and mechanical arms shuffled tens of thousands of heavy blocks, each weighing around 25 to 35 tons, using surplus wind and solar power from the nearby wind farm.
So, when the wind is strong at night and nobody's using electricity, the tower just quietly lifts blocks into the air as a way of charging itself?
Exactly. When those blocks go up, the system stores energy as gravitational potential, basic high school physics, but scaled up to 25 megawatts of power and about 100 megawatt hours of storage in Rudong. When the grid needs power at dinner time, the blocks descend in a controlled way. Motors flip into generators, and electricity flows back into the grid for roughly 4 hours at full output.
What about efficiency and lifetime? That's the part battery people always argue about.
Energy Vault and Chinese partners report round-trip efficiencies above 80% for the EVX system, with some provincial data pushing 85 to 90%, on par with many pumped hydro plants. And because the active material is just big composite blocks made from waste concrete, ash, and construction debris, the system can run for 35 to 50 years with no cycle degradation and virtually no self-discharge.
So, the tower is basically a mechanical battery made out of trash and software.
That's the idea. AI algorithms coordinate multiple cranes to avoid collisions, maximize block moves, and keep the stacked structure stable, turning simple gravity into grid-scale storage with recycled materials. China treated Rudong as a pilot. Within a year, partners had announced 9 more EVX deployments, totaling about 3.7 gigawatt-hours of gravity storage across several provinces.
But one tower in China doesn't save Europe on a cloudy, windless week. That's where pumped hydro comes in, right?
Pumped hydro is the veteran of energy storage. For more than a century, grids have used 2 reservoirs, one high, one low, plus turbines to store cheap off-peak power and release it at peak times. When electricity is abundant, water is pumped uphill. When the grid needs power, that water rushes back down through tunnels, spinning turbines just like a conventional hydro plant.
So Europe's big alpine dams aren't just about rivers. They're giant water batteries too?
Exactly. Many European countries quietly rely on pumped storage schemes in their mountains to balance nuclear, wind, and solar, making them the de facto long-duration backbone of the continent's clean grid. Round-trip efficiencies in good pumped hydro plants typically land around 70 to 85%, and some projects have been operating for several decades with upgrades, making them one of the most proven storage tools we have.
But those dams flood valleys, need huge reservoirs, and depend on specific geography. You can't replicate the Alps everywhere.
That's the catch. Pumped hydro scales brilliantly where the land and water cooperate, but in flat or water-stressed regions, it's hard to permit and build new projects, even if the physics is great.
So, if pumped hydro is the old champion, why is anyone bothering to stack concrete blocks in towers or drop weights into mine shafts?
Because each technology solves a different version of the storage problem. Think of gravity towers and mine shaft hybrids as pumped hydro without the lake and mountain. Rudong's tower uses a small footprint on flat coastal land, built largely from recycled materials, and sits right next to a wind farm and grid connection. Perfect where space is tight or geography is boring. By contrast, traditional pumped storage dams need large elevation differences, big reservoirs, and complex civil works that can disrupt ecosystems and face long permitting battles.
Okay, but what about Europe's answer to Rudong? Do we have our own gravity battery, or is this going to be another tech we import from China?
Enter Miniera d'Energia in Sardinia, Italy, a hybrid project on the site of the country's largest former coal mine. Energy Volt is repurposing 500-meter deep mine shafts with its modular EV0 pumped gravity system, paired with a B-volt lithium battery to stabilize Sardinia's grid and turn a fossil site into a carbon-neutral tech hub.
So Europe is testing gravity in the ground, while China stacks it in the air.
Exactly. The Sardinian project aims to show how old mining infrastructure can become underground gravity storage, while Rudong demonstrates that a tower beside a wind farm can do the same job above ground. Both avoid the huge new reservoirs of classic pumped hydro, and both claim long lifetimes with minimal degradation. But they're still first-generation systems, so costs per kilowatt-hour are likely higher than mature dams until learning curves kick in.
So who wins? If I care about a clean, reliable grid in a future full of electric cars, heat pumps, and data centers, which storage horse should I bet on?
If you live in a country with mountains and big existing dams, pumped hydro will probably stay the heavy backbone. It's proven, efficient, and already built. But in flatter regions, coastal zones, and former coal and mineral belts, gravity towers and mine shaft hybrids let you drop storage right where the grid needs it, using recycled materials and without massive new reservoirs.
So the clean grid of the future is less one winner and more team sport. Dams where they make sense, gravity towers and mine shafts in the gaps, batteries for fast response.
Exactly. If gravity storage keeps performing like Rudong's early data suggests, with greater than 80% efficiency, multi-decade life, and no lithium, it becomes the quiet hero backing up renewables in places pumped hydro can't reach. And projects like Miniera d'Energia prove Europe isn't just watching. It's turning coal mines and old infrastructure into long-duration storage labs.
If you want to see how China and Europe race or collaborate on these gravity experiments, stick around this channel. We're tracking the full energy storage arms race, not just the headlines.
Hit subscribe, because next time we'll zoom out from towers and dams to the bigger question: how all these storage systems fit into a grid that has to survive weeks of low wind and high demand without going back to fossil fuels.
Thanks for watching. Stay green, stay healthy, stay informed.